Introducing first from Texas, weighing 230 pounds, Bobby Bass. His opponent from Calgary, Alberta, weighing 240 pounds, the North American heavyweight wrestling champion, Leo Burke. The referee, Stu Swartz. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burke would like to be called the Ontario Dream.
Well, the Ontario Dream hasn't got his belt off yet, the championship belt, before Bobby Bass is wanting to get business underway before he gets his shirt off. I don't know where the Ontario Dream came from, and I'm not going to say anything about it.
No, I don't either. I could understand if he wanted to be referred to as the Ontario Nightmare, but the Ontario Dream, that's a little too much, isn't it? Bobby Bass, this fellow from Texas, you know, this should be a very interesting match because both men have basically the same style. They throw the rule book out the window. Bobby Bass, sometimes we wonder if he's playing with the full deck. And anyway, like I said, it should be a real barn burner because both styles are similar. They don't care about the rules. And we're going to see what happens.
Bobby Bass and Leo Burke. Bobby seems to be shouting to someone outside of the ring. Not sure who that was. While we figure that out, why don't we bring the folks up to date on some upcoming matches that they'll see here on Maple Leaf Wrestling. Billy?
I'd like to remind all our fans in the Brantford area that Maple Leaf Wrestling returns to the Brantford Civic Center tomorrow night at 8 p.m. featuring all the stars of Maple Leaf Wrestling. But tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, promoter Jack Tunney presents the card that everyone is talking about. You'll see Kurt Von Hess, Joe Marcus, Nick DiCarlo, Bobby Bass. In tag action, the K Brothers, Rudy and Terry, take on yours truly and Johnny Buzzsaw Weaver. Heartthrob Buddy Hart goes up against J.J. Dillon. In a North American title match, Leo Burke, the champion, puts his title on the line against Vinny Valentino. In tag action, Handsome Jimmy and Dusty Rhodes go against the Assassins #1 and #2, who will be accompanied by their manager, Paul Jones. And finally, a world heavyweight title match inside of a 10-foot steel cage, and there must be a winner in this one. The champion, Rick Nature Boy Flair, takes on Harley Race. Now remember, this great card all takes place tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens.
Leo Burke is looking for a little discussion from Bobby Bass. Mixed it up in the center of the ring with a few equal kicks and a few equal things. I think so far, Billy, you could say the match has been fairly even. The North American champion, as usual, taking his time, slow and deliberate, I guess is how you'd describe Leo Burke's tactics.
Yes. A moment ago there, when we saw Bobby Bass whip Leo Burke into the turnbuckle, there was actually a lot of fans started to cheer for Bobby Bass. And Mike, I think you'll vouch for this. That's probably the first time I've ever seen any of the fans cheer Bobby Bass. However, when you see Leo Burke, it's easy to understand why. I think regardless of who goes against Leo Burke, it automatically be the favorite of the fans.
Well, Leo, as you said at the outset of this match, Billy, Leo is not really overly concerned with the rule book or being Mr. Nice Guy. He's decided to call himself the Ontario Dream. But you're absolutely right. The people are cheering for Bobby Bass, and in my limited experience, it certainly is the first time I've ever seen anybody cheer for Bobby Bass, but they're cheering that one.
Yes. He got an awful shot to the back of the head there when Bass kicked him off, and now Bass drives his head right into the mat. You can see Burke's forehead there. He's got it all bandaged up from a recent match he just had, I believe it was with Roddy Piper.
Oh.
And that's where he received all the injuries to the forehead.
Bobby Bass has certainly staggered him with those blows to the canvas, and that is some hard trip. Look out.
Oh, and a driving slam by Bobby Bass.
Here's the Leo Burke we've grown to know and love, begging for mercy while he can catch his breath, and a lot of guys fall for that, you know.
Yes, he's always stalling for time. Well, he's a master at it. When he gets in a little trouble, how he can drag it out. Gets on the, stays on the mat, backs into a corner. Always manages to get up in time to beat the count if the referee's putting a count on him, but he can really kill a clock. Oh.
That's he wasn't ready for that. Little rake down the gardening in the front. Oh, my Lord. And a good shot to the midriff. I believe he's got him staggered here.
Well, there's a hard thumb right to the Adam's apple by Bob Bass. And no doubt Bobby Bass today is saying, well, that's my scientific thumb and my scientific scratch down the chest. Now he goes to the throat area of Leo Burke, and Stu Schwartz calls for a break.
Well, so he should. Look like he was an obvious choke there. Although we're blocked right now, we can figure there's an eye gouge maybe and a choke going on.
Yes,
Whoa.
that's exactly what was going on. Now Burke comes back with a couple of hard shots right to the midsection, and now Bobby Bass is on the receiving end.
Introducing him to the laces of his boot there, I believe, Bill.
Yes.
Oh.
Hard right by Leo Burke.
Well, you were right. You said it would be a barn burner because these guys have very, very similar styles and tactics. And as you said, and we mentioned earlier, that the rule book is just gone for this one.
Yes.
Look out.
Oh, and he runs right into a knee coming off the ropes. Bobby Bass flat on his back. Leo Burke lines him up, comes down with a hard knee right to the head. And Burke goes for the pin. And just like that, Mike, this one's all over.
He got it. We'll go for the official results. Over to Norm Kimber.
The winner of the match, Leo Burke.
Fans, a reminder, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, wrestling returns to Brantford, Ontario at the Brantford Civic Center. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, don't forget the big action. Tomorrow afternoon, 1:30, a World Championship card is coming to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, listen to these matches. You will see Johnny Weaver team up with Red Lions to take on Rudy and Terry Kay. Buddy Hart goes against J.J. Dillon. A North American title match. It is Leo Burke against Vinny Valentino. Fans, listen to this big tag team match. You will see the Assassins 1 and 2, along with their manager #1, Paul Jones, to take on the team of Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, and his partner, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And then tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in Toronto, the card is headed off by this big NWA title match. They'll put him in a 10-foot steel cage as NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair defends against Harley Race. There must be a winner. Both men in the steel cage, NWA title match, Ric Flair against Harley Race. Tomorrow afternoon, it begins at 1:30. Let's talk to Harley Race.
Tomorrow afternoon, Ric Flair, check it on your calendar at 1:30. Maple Leaf Gardens. Your reign as world's heavyweight champion is coming to an end. I am rewriting wrestling history all over again. Number 8, the Big 8, is coming up. I took the title in Toronto, Canada, once before. I made it my home away from home. It's not Greensboro, North Carolina, with a prejudiced referee in the way all the time. It's Toronto inside a steel cage on neutral ground. And tomorrow afternoon will be Ric Flair's end as world's heavyweight champion.
And Tony Russo. And the official for this one, Stu Schwartz. And getting things underway, we have Jay Youngblood in there with Hans Schroeder, the big man from Germany. Throws Jay into the ropes, and he comes off with a shoulder block, but he doesn't move, the big fellow. Once again, side headlock by Jay Youngblood. Into the ropes once again, and still not able to knock the big man from Germany to the mat. There we see Mark Youngblood, the bigger one of the two brothers, on the outside, cheering his brother on.
And Jay goes to the ropes once again, comes up, and this time catches him with a drop kick right on the button. And that one puts Schroeder to his knees. Well, we know one team that will be watching these two, and that is the current World Tag Team Champions, Don Kernodle and Ivan Koloff, who are managed by Gary Hart. And I'm sure that they'll be watching this match very closely because the Youngblood brothers are right on their tail. They want to get a shot at that World Tag Team Championship. In comes Jay once again and unloads with a good chop to the throat area of Hans Schroeder. Side wristlock and takes him down to the mat. I'd like to inform all our fans out there, if there are comments you would like to make about Maple Leaf Wrestling or any questions you have in mind that you would like to ask, you can now do so by writing to Maple Leaf Wrestling, care of Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto, Canada, M5B1L1. Tony Russo, good move. Takes Jay to the mat. However, he comes right up again. Now Russo goes to whip him into the ropes, but Youngblood turns the tables, and a beautiful monkey flip. That's what we call it, coming out of the corner. Jay sets him up in a position for the suplex. Goes for the pin. And just enough for a 1 count. There you see that address once again. If you'd like to make any comments or questions about Maple Leaf Wrestling, you can now do so by writing to Maple Leaf Wrestling, care of Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto, Canada, M5B1L1. And the Youngblood brothers continue to pour it on Tony Russo. Mark Youngblood, the bigger of the two brothers. A little bigger than Jay, and they say he's stronger than Jay also. And Russo now moves Mark Youngblood into his own corner. And they go to work on Mark Youngblood. Hans Schroeder whips him into the ropes. Oh, and catches him in the midsection, coming off with a vicious knee. Reaches down, picks him up, and drives him into the mat. Doesn't go for the pin, instead applies a reverse chin lock. Good shot of Hans Schroeder there. I mentioned that Don Kernodle and Ivan Koloff would be watching this, the combination of Mark and Jay Youngblood. And I'm also sure that Dick Slater and Bob Orton are watching these two young fellows very closely also, because they'd sure like to get a shot at that World Tag Team Championship. And both of these teams are leading contenders, Orton and Slater and the Youngbloods. And Jay Youngblood now giving his little dance around the ring, gives Russo a chop to the top of the head, picks him up, whips him into the ropes once again, and catches him with a double chop coming up. Now, Jay outside, up onto the top rope, up he goes. Off he comes with another hard chop to the top of the head, goes for the pin, and this one's all over. And the winners, Mark and Jay Youngblood.
Wrestling returns to the Brantford Civic Center tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Mark it down.
How about when do we go? All right, Bob, we are to have a U.S. Heavyweight Championship match here. There's quite a development in the ring, though. Roddy Piper was to wrestle with the U.S. Heavyweight Champion Greg Valentine, but Dickie Slater is in the ring right now. The development was that earlier in the evening, Piper was to wrestle for the U.S. Championship against Valentine. The promoter right here in this arena got word that due to the holidays and are traveling, that Piper was going to be late. Second in line.
He's made it though, Johnny. I just saw him making his way to the ring.
Second in line was the Mid-Atlantic champion, Dickie Slater. He was notified that he got the title match. However, I don't know if Slater has been notified that Piper is in the building. Piper is, oh my goodness, Valentine.
He just shoved him backwards and down, Johnny, and here comes Piper.
Now maybe Slater will be aware that Piper is in the building. There's an NWA official, Danny Miller, trying to get Slater out of the ring. And maybe, Bob, we'll have order restored and get this match underway. Piper has made it. Piper also wondering what happened. He didn't know that the match had been awarded to Dickie Slater on the pretense that Piper was not going to be able to show up.
All right,
but everything is restored. Slater is now being escorted out of the arena. Piper is here. This is a U.S. Championship match. There's Valentine being checked. And Piper's ready to go. And Piper just coming off of a big victory over Valentine.
That was in that collar match with that chain connecting the two of them, Johnny. And this is the match that everybody wanted to see.
And I hope the ring can hold it together in this one.
All of the fans wanted this one, and did Roddy Piper forever wanted. For all Piper has talked about now for weeks and weeks is a chance to get the U.S. champion Greg Valentine in that ring, Johnny.
And he's got him, and we know the history behind these two. Valentine almost put Piper's hearing, almost took it away from him. In fact, it's still, some of it has not been restored. Piper was out a long time. Fine ride job here by Piper. And Valentine.
He got out of the ring, and now he comes back to slug from down on the floor. And here's Piper hung up in the ropes, Johnny.
And he got a few of those big hammers to the head, and that slung him into the... They're going to fight it out on the floor, Bob.
They slung it out of the ring, down on the floor, fans. Now both of them quickly back in the ring, and bad blood doesn't describe what's between these two.
Oh, that's right. There's a tremendous amount of animosity between both of these individuals right here, and Piper just drops Valentine to one knee.
As you mentioned, Johnny, it's Piper who's wanting revenge for that ear.
He's trying for a figure four. Can he make it?
Almost got it locked in.
Valentine with a handful of tights.
He's gone. Now here's Valentine. He's trying to go with a figure four, and he's got it locked in.
No, Piper blocked it. He's got that foot from being Valentine for putting the foot down to lock it over.
They're really tangled up and twisted up out in the ring.
Both men going quickly for a victory in this U.S. title match.
As all you fans are aware, Greg Valentine, not once but twice, injured that ear of Roddy Piper's. Almost put him out of wrestling for good, Johnny.
He was certainly laid up for a long time, and then they just had some, well, a doggonest matches I've ever seen.
That's the only collar match I ever saw, and it just shows you just how irate and how much Roddy Piper really wanted it when he won that collar match.
Well, they made it to the ropes here, and they're still locked up in a...
Somebody's got to untangle them here, too, Johnny. They're going to fall right out of the ring.
I was supposed to having that figure four lock. Tommy Young, a fine NWA. And they're on the floor again.
As they trade rights and lefts down on the floor, and Valentine is the one who gives ground and backs up.
He caught a good one in the forehead of Piper, and as Piper grew up in a rough area.
There's Valentine now into the ring post.
Nice hard in the fire post. Piper still on the outside on his fans. Love it.
Now Piper back into the ring and out again. He did that, I guess, to stop the count, Johnny.
To stop the count. He doesn't want Valentine to get counted out. He doesn't want to get counted out. He wants that U.S. title.
All right, and here's Valentine over the ropes now with a foot.
Piper in that backdrop situation. Valentine sliced it up, coming off the ropes, caught him with that foot.
Valentine now with Piper high to the air, right down across the knee. Johnny, we've been talking about Roddy Piper and how much he wanted Greg Valentine. I don't think we should forget either what a great United States champion Greg Valentine is. He's had that belt for a long, long time. He's defended it against all comers, and he's just a tremendous athlete in the ring.
He certainly is, Bob. We got to give credit where credit is due. The man has been a great champion. He's defended against all comers. His tactics sometimes were a little bit underhanded, and he broke the leg of Wahoo McDaniels. But it's a vicious sport sometimes, and he is the man on top. He is the U.S. champion.
And that championship means just that much to him, Johnny.
A lot of guys
will do anything, and I think anything, to keep that championship.
A lot of men wanted that U.S. championship. Orton and Slater have even said that they would be out to get it. Valentine's not safe. And of course, right here is Piper, and Piper has really made an effort.
Valentine has got Piper back to the left corner. He's been landing some heavy blows, high on the head and in with the elbow.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m., wrestling returns to the Brantford Civic Center. You'll want to be on hand for the super matches. Also tomorrow, 1:30 in the afternoon, a World Championship card at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. The K Brothers will take on Johnny Weaver and Red Lions. See Buddy Hart go after J.J. Dillon. North American title match, Leo Burke against Vinny Valentino. Tag team action, the Assassins 1 and 2 with #1 Paul Jones to take on the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, his partner, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And World NWA title match in a 10-foot steel cage. Ric Flair will take on Harley Race. Must be a winner. Here is Flair.
Tomorrow afternoon, Harley Race, you and I are going to walk that ramp. We're going to get into the steel cage. You're looking at it right here. And I'm going to defend the World Heavyweight Championship to the best of my ability. Toronto, Canada. Woo! What a wrestling town! The people there are on fire because the World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. It's in the cage. And Harley Race, they know what this championship means to me. They know what this championship means to you. You see, Toronto has got a history of being one of the greatest wrestling cities anywhere in the world. And the fans there know what's coming down when you start talking about world championships. The steel cage, 2 men gonna walk in, 1 man's gonna walk out the world champion. Now, you know, Race, you and I have gone round and round. The steel cage, no stranger to either of us. It's gonna be a battle, but I'm willing to pay the price, and I'm sure you are too. But Toronto, as you may not know, woo, is my kind of town. And it's going to be party time tomorrow. Toronto, the steel cage. Woo!
Brings now here's Piper trying to fight his way out of the corner.
He's stuck him with a good right.
Heavy blows.
He stuck him with another right, and another right. Right on the cheekbone, and Valentine's knees a buckle, and a hard right to the head, and Valentine is down.
Here's the U.S. champ shaking his head, trying to shake the cobwebs out, as Roddy Piper's right back on the attack. That was a tremendous knee lift.
Tremendous knee lift. Here's a right across. This could be it. No, just a 2 count.
Almost a new champion right there, fans.
Fine move by Valentine. He's got Piper pinned. Just a 2 count, 1 shoulders up. This has really been back and forth.
Twice now, Roddy Piper has had to count a 2 on Valentine, and Valentine has had it on Piper once. He caught him in the air, right over to the ropes and right down across that rope on his throat.
He dropped that throat across the top rope, Bob, and that snapped the head back and the neck muscles and the neck bones just wasn't made to bend in that area.
Here comes that bionic elbow with that smash now right down across Roddy Piper's throat as he's flat on the mat. Count it 2.
It was close again. A near fall for Valentine and a close call for Piper.
Piper is so determined, and I think that's one of the things that has stood out in all of the matches that he's had with Greg Valentine. His determination not to quit and not to lose.
Ooh, off the second rope. with that elbow. This could be it. Piper. Oh, boy, ever so close. Ever so close to a 3 count, but Piper stays alive.
And he looks like he's almost out, Johnny, in the ring.
Well, they've set a tremendous pace here. And both men have got to be tiring.
Piper just staggers around, falls in the ropes, now on his knees, down the ropes to the corner, and it's Valentine right on the attack, through the ropes and out of the ring now, Johnny.
Piper crashes down on the concrete floor. Referee will start that count. That was a nasty fall for Piper.
Here's Piper, quickly up onto the apron of the ring, and it's Valentine right back on the attack again.
Patented Valentine move, where he bends him across that rope and throws that hammer down on the chest. Piper draped on the ropes, Bob. He seems to be
completely
in trouble.
defenseless. Now he's down onto the floor and gets Valentine's feet out from under him. He's going to drag him out of the ring.
Boy, they are really at each other. Here's Valentine up with a Piper reverse and going behind. Sleeper hold! Sleeper hold! The fans are going wild. Valentine caught the sleeper.
And through the ropes.
Valentine
Hanging on that rope.
Valentine tried to counter there. Tried to counter, run Piper on the turnbuckle. Piper too smart for it. Valentine off the rope. Piper with him up in the air.
And the airplane spin. Roddy Piper's got Greg Valentine in the airplane spin. And this could be it right here.
Valentine grabs the rope. Piper crashes over the top rope onto the concrete floor. Valentine is down flat of his
There's
back in the
both
ring.
out. One in the ring and one out.
Valentine flat. Here's Dickie Slater.
There's Dick Slater.
He's attacking Valentine. Slater attacking Valentine.
Elbows.
I think the referee's calling for disqualification.
Roddy
Piper's
saying
asking him not to
no.
do it.
No, Piper doesn't want
Piper doesn't want disqualification.
Look at
Piper
Slater.
has nothing in common or nothing to do with Slater being in that ring. Slater attacking Valentine. The referee's trying to give the last news.
To Greg Valentine. Now Piper gets hit from behind by Slater.
And they go at it. Tooth and nail. What a development. Piper is running away. That's Slater now. He did not want a disqualification call.
Greg Valentine still just sitting in there. Here comes Bob
Here's
Orton
Orton.
Jr.
And he snapped Piper in the head.
He's got his cowboy boots on, just stomping and kicking away at him.
Cowboy boots and two vicious men are going to talk Piper over the top rope. Piper's out on the floor.
Now Slater and Orton look like they may be going after Valentine.
Valentine trying to get up, gets nailed. He has been hurt. Down he goes.
Johnny Slater and Orton went after both of them.
Valentine has been lacerated. Slater and Orton, they would do anything to get those belts. They hurt Flair. They hurt. Look at it. Stop that cowboy boot. They hurt Wahoo. They hurt Flair. It looks like they're trying. They have made no bones about it. They want the U.S. Championship. Look at Slater.
With a right hand just keeps slamming away at the head. Now it looks like Orton is trying to stop Slater.
Hey, there's got to be one thing. It's just got to be greed. Only greed these two men could have. Oh, look at that. Valentine has really
He
been
is
injured.
completely out, Johnny.
Slater and Orton
He is
floating over.
completely out.
And once again, they attacked a man who was in another match that they had nothing to do about. Piper, who was thrown over the top rope, is back in the ring. I know he wonders what happened.
Valentine is being declared the winner by the referee. Referee Tommy
But
Young
he can't do that.
holding up his hand. Now here comes
Piper doesn't know what happened. I'm sure Piper's ready to wrestle. Now he senses the injury to Valentine.
Valentine can't continue. No way.
He's going to be restrained by the NWA officials in the ring. Piper, he has just lost a great chance at the U.S. title, and now he's being
He
disqualified.
had nothing to do with it. That's right.
Piper says he has nothing to do with it.
There was nobody he had any control over Slater and over Orton.
It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Brantford Civic Center.
In before curfew. Introducing first, from Burlington, Ontario, weighing 235 pounds, Joe Marcus. His opponent, from Moncton, New Brunswick, weighing 225 pounds, Terry Kay. Terry Kay is accompanied in the ring by his brother, Professor Rudy Kay. The referee, Terry Yorkston.
Here are the Kay brothers, although only one will be fighting. That's Terry Kay, with the now called the Professor staying in the corner to give him what he hopes to be some good advice. Going against Joe Marcus, the pride of Burlington. I should say half of the Marcus brothers, who are both the pride of Burlington. And I'd like to say hello to those people from Burlington that we hear from by mail here on Maple Leaf Wrestling. Nice to hear from you out there. You boys threatening Terry Kay in the corner right now, and he gets up on the second rope. There's an old Scots expression, talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
Yes.
And there's an example of it. Woo. Now, while they get reacquainted in the middle of the ring, Billy, acquaint the listeners and viewers with some of the upcoming matches that they can expect to see in their area.
I'd like to remind all our fans in the Brantford area that Maple Leaf Wrestling returns to the Brantford Civic Center tomorrow night at 8 p.m. featuring all the stars of Maple Leaf Wrestling. But tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, promoter Jack Tunney presents the card that everyone is talking about. You'll see Kurt Von Hess, Joe Marcus, Nick DiCarlo, Bobby Bass. In tag action, the Kay brothers, Rudy and Terry, take on yours truly and Johnny Buzzsaw Weaver. Heartthrob Buddy Hart goes up against J.J. Dillon. In a North American title match, Leo Burke, the champion, puts his title on the line against Vinny Valentino. In tag action, Handsome Jimmy and Dusty Rhodes go against the Assassins number 1 and number 2, who will be accompanied by their manager, Paul Jones. And finally, a world heavyweight title match inside of a 10-foot steel cage, and there must be a winner in this one. The champion, Rick Nature Boy Flair, takes on Harley Race. Now remember, this great card all takes place tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens.
Joe Marcus has been working on Terry Kay with that head scissors and was doing very well. And Terry Kay, on the blind side of the referee, Terry Yorkston, was using the trunks for added leverage and now has got the upper hand. But Joe Marcus used that head scissors very, very well.
Oh, yes. The Marcus brothers, they know a lot of the more scientific moves of wrestling. They're not the type that rely on the knockdown, drag them out, the eye gouging, the hair pulling. They'd rather wrestle within the rule book, and which they have to be commended for that. You know, Mike, the match we just saw prior to this between Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine for the U.S. title, I mentioned at the opening of today's card that it would have quite an outcome. Well, it certainly did. And we saw Orton and Slater jump in the ring, and they both jumped Valentine of all things. You know, so these fellas, they don't care. You know, there's nothing sacred with them. They jump Valentine. But the good news is I've just been informed that next week, right here on Maple Leaf Wrestling, we're going to have another U.S. title match. Only this time it will be Greg Valentine going against Dick Slater. So that's good news.
Gangbusters.
It certainly will be.
Well, meanwhile, Terry Kay has been really delivering some punishment to Joe Marcus, but he's proving he's got some pepper left, because I think that Terry Kay, with some somewhat questionable shots, really got Joe Marcus dander up. He is some hot. Look at this. And bailing on him. The first thing it was, I think, was the closed fist, I should say, to the forehead. And now Joe Marcus is being...
Well, I was just going to say, Joe shouldn't be making that kind of mistake, turning his back on a fellow like Terry Kay. Even though he knows the professor, or who they refer to him as the professor's on the outside, And here we see Terry Kay going for the pin. And just like that, he goes one fall up.
Well, this is a duration match, and one might say without the assistance of the so-called professor, who...
Well, look at here. See now,
and the fight isn't even...
while Rudy Kay, the so-called professor, has Terry Yorkson distracted over in the corner, complaining about something probably. We saw Terry Kay go to work on Joe Marcus there while it's supposed to, between falls, I should say, when the fall is taken, you're supposed to step back and give your opponent the rest period, which is required. However, Terry Kay moves right back in, and a hard driving slam now rolls Joe Marcus over, and he's going to go to work on that back once more, Mike.
And it seems to me that that's beginning to pay off for him, and really get Joe Marcus tired out pretty bad, those blows to the back like that. Joe Marcus vainly trying to fight back. But as you said, the Kay brothers, and this is Terry, of course, working on Joe Marcus. Very clever. There's a fellow using the old bean. Coming off those ropes, he might have been in some trouble, but he used that split second to deliver a powerful, punishing kick to Terry Kay. And look at this.
Yes.
Into the turnbuckle, down he goes. Joe Marcus going to work here, Billy.
Yes, young Joe has recuperated. A lot of fire left in him. Throws Terry into that rope once again and clotheslines him coming off.
Both of them.
Well, I think that hurt Joe just as much as it did Kay. However, he goes for the pin, and about 2 3/4, and the foot got onto that bottom rope just in the nick of time. Joe pulls it back in.
Joe doesn't like that.
Oh. Well, what do they say? If you can't counter, if you can't think of anything else, go for that rope. Whether it's the bottom one, the top one, or whatever, but get to the ropes. And a good backdrop by Joe Marcus.
Now.
Goes for the pin once again.
2 count.
And once again.
I thought it was a 2.5 if I ever saw one.
Yes, I was going to say that leg of Kay's, it looked like it grew about 4 inches there, reaching for that rope.
Joe Marcus fighting back. Uh-oh.
Well, what do they say? You go to the well once too often. Well, there's only a minute left in this match. In fact, there's a little less than a minute left in the match till curfew. And right now, Terry Kay is in the driver's seat. He's one fall up, and Joe Marcus not in too good a shape right now.
Joe is going to get some brutal treatment here with the boot. He's already taken a severe blow to the throat by Terry Kay, and I think that boot and everything else is wearing Joe Marcus down. I don't want to write him off before the fight is over, but
reverse neck breaker by Terry Kay, and he goes for another pin. 1, 2, and out he comes.
All right. Joe Marcus still alive, but time is his enemy now, more than anything else.
Time is quickly running out. Kay goes for that reverse neck breaker once again, and Joe was able to hang on to the ropes, but time has run out, Mike. This one's all over.
The curfew's over there. We'll have to get the call here from Terry Yorkston, and we'll get the official results here in a moment from Norm Kimber.
This is curfew and the end of the match. The winner with the only fall, Terry Kay. This one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Italy, weighing 245 pounds, Nick DiCarlo. His opponent from Calgary, Alberta, weighing 240 pounds, the North American heavyweight champion, Leo Burke. The referee, Fred Atkins. Leo Burke would like to be referred to as the Ontario Dream.
Well, Leo Burke again has instructed Norm Kimber, our ring announcer, to refer to him as the Ontario Dream. I still haven't figured out what that's about, but there you go, as they say in wrestling. Leo Burke, a man who works slowly, works to intimidate by kind of moving around the ring very, very slowly, but he's got a very, very experienced Nick DiCarlo to go up against. Leo Burke, the North American heavyweight champion, one of Italy's favorite sons.
Oh,
he just comes to life.
Good move by Nick DiCarlo there. Burke was, he put everything into that one. If he had caught him with that haymaker, let's face it, Nick DiCarlo would have wound up out in the second row somewhere.
I don't think he's going to fool a guy like Nick with those kind of things, or a roundhouse haymaker like that. Anyway, Billy, why don't you bring the people up to date on upcoming matches in our viewing area? Nick DiCarlo with a beautiful slam on Leo Burke. And earlier during that announcement, a textbook drop kick by Leo Burke. Showing a lot of energy there. Right now, though, Nick DiCarlo is giving the grand tour to Leo Burke with his head on the turnbuckles, his back into the turnbuckle.
Oh, he missed that shoulder block, went right into that turnbuckle. Woo. And that's smart.
Well, I'll tell you, 245 pounds stopped suddenly by the turnbuckle.
Oh, he's a little fight left in him yet. Small package on Leo Burke. Very close to an upset right there.
I'll tell you, he curled him up and put him on the shoulders on the mat. And out of the ring, he's rethinking this one, Billy. He's wondering,
yes,
whoa, what did I do wrong there? Ooh. Nick DiCarlo, a very surprising wrestler, though. He's always got a couple of slick moves in his repertoire.
Yes. I was going to say, there we see Burke once again down in the corner begging for time. Every time he gets in trouble, comes off, catches DiCarlo with a knee, goes back to the ropes, and that hard knee drop right to the forehead of Nick DiCarlo and goes for the pin. And it could be over all right there. Yes, it is. That was all over, and Leo Burke drops another one on.
The rule book out the window again.
Leo Burke